Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers. Now, the data is in, and inventory right now is absolutely exploding across the nation, and that is wreaking havoc on certain housing markets. Now, hopefully you're lucky like I am, and you live in a metro area where inventory is absolutely exploding. Now, as the pendulum starts to swing the other way, the bullish narrative is absolutely being destroyed. Because remember, you guys, this whole narrative that prices are only going to go down has been built on the whole laws of supply and demand. But now that the rules and laws of supply and demand are shifting, more and more bulls are starting to flip-flop, or they want to completely disregard the laws of supply and demand, which again is what built their entire narrative. And honestly, you guys, I prefer that they do flip-flop, because if it means that less people will be rushing into financial ruin, then that's great to me. And there's no question that people are regretting purchasing a home that have purchased recently. The buyer's remorse surveys, again, you can go to Experian. Go to Experian.com. They will acknowledge 93% of recent homeowners have buyer's regret. So all the people on the sidelines, vital signs, all the people on the sidelines that are stressing out like, oh my God, I got to buy. What are you in a rush for? Do you want to join the club of buyer's remorse? Or are you going to join the club of real estate mindset crew who are sitting on the sideline trying to maintain our purchasing power? It has been hard. Inflation has even hurt me, you guys. But we're on the sideline. We're constantly looking for houses. In fact, I have good news. I found a house. I may make an offer as soon as I'm done recording this video. And this house, okay, I'm not foolishly buying houses, guys. I've been looking for 2.5 years now. I found a house now that has 31% of equity, which means that's a crash. It's 31% down from peak. I found it. I haven't got it yet. I'm making it an offer, but I'm super excited. Things are starting to change. So I really hope you guys have been patient. I hope that you've been working on your purchasing power, because odds are when we enter that technical recession, things are going to be harder. It's going to be harder to keep your job. It's going to be harder to get credit for things like a home. So you got to make sure that you're okay right now, because it's going to be harder to do so in the future. But regardless, you guys, I have amazing data to go over with you today. I'm going to show you guys what inventory is currently doing for active inventory, active listings. And I'm going to show you guys that we have now minimum, I haven't checked every state, but we now have minimum, according to Fred economic data, 7 states that have more inventory right now than lockdowns. Now we're going to start here with the Zillow article, because Zillow has broken this down pretty good. They're basically highlighting 2 factors that are driving traffic to some housing markets. And I actually agree. This is the first time I've heard them acknowledge this. So I think you guys are going to like this. The name of this article is How the Housing Market is Changing in Cities Gaining the Most New Neighbors, which is basically just demographics, people moving to different cities. Now, let me know if you agree with these 2 paragraphs right here from Zillow. A look through Zillow's housing data shows the cities with the biggest population growth generally have 2 factors in common. Now, here's again, let me know if you agree with them. Number 1 is affordability, at least when compared to bigger cities nearby. So again, not downtown, but the outskirts. And number 2, relatively more inventory. So affordability and availability, they're saying, are the biggest factors driving the market today. With mortgage rates near 7%, the cost of home purchasing is keeping many would-be buyers on the sidelines. But I'm going to add, guys, to that. Well, first of all, let me know if you agree. Is affordability and availability, are those the 2 key factors now at driving the housing market? I mean, we knew affordability was the number 1 factor. It's finally those lag effects, you guys. My God, it took forever. But I'm going to add new home construction. New home construction is vital at this point in the game. We see it in Texas. Texas is like the number 1 state. Houston's the number 1 metro. I live in Houston, the number 1 metro of new construction. And I'm going to tell you guys, like I've been saying for the last year and a half, the housing market price crash or price correction, or whatever you want to call it, will follow new homes. In fact, we already know, because we see it in the data right before they revised it, by the way. Now, briefly, what's interesting is here's the top 5 metro areas. I don't want to spend too much time here, but it's very interesting. The number 1 here is Port St. Lucie, Florida. Number 2, and I've been here, Atlanta, Georgia. I've been watching Atlanta, Georgia. A lot of the growth there is a result of migration, is population growth. So again, if that stops, they're in big trouble. A lot of those new home builders are banking on the migration continuing, like work from home and things like that, but it's not. It's not continuing. It's slowing down substantially. But number 3 here, Fort Worth, Texas. I'll be keeping my eyes on there. So big population boom in Fort Worth, Texas. Number 4 is Raleigh, North Carolina. I've also been there, followed by Henderson, Nevada. I've also been there. So I've been to almost all of these metro areas except for Port St. Lucie. All right, now take a look at this article from Fast Company. This is from Lance Lambert, who has reached out and said he's willing to be on our channel. You guys, seriously, comment below. Let me know if you guys want me to bring Lance Lambert to talk about the housing market on this channel. Let me tell you what I like about Lance. His data visualization. I don't know anyone in the housing market that has better data visualization than Lance Lambert. I love his data viz. I don't agree with his narrative though. I do not agree with all his narrative, but the article name is Housing Market Inventory in Texas is back above pre-pandemic levels. These states could be next. And remember, you guys, what I have been saying and what we saw in 2022. We saw price decline, official price decline, not seasonality, but price decline happened in 2022. Depending on the data source, I'm talking active inventory as measured from Redfin, we hit about 900,000 units and that sustained and actually went up a little bit. Guess what, you guys? We hit that right now. And so as inventory continues to be dumped on the market, and meanwhile, buying demand and purchasing power is getting even worse. So inventory is growing, demand is lowering. It's only a matter of time before those homes selling for under market value will create comparable data that will affect entire subdivisions. Now remember, bullish, the laws of supply and demand. Remember, let's just use their same narrative, okay? It's all shifting. There's nothing they can do about it. It's shifting. When is it going to happen in your metro? I don't know. I'm not in your metro. I'm in my metro area in Houston, and it's already happening. You got to pay attention to what's happening in your local housing market. Remember that, guys, and always keep your purchasing power intact. This is very embarrassing, but I just rebudgeted again with my wife, and we saved just on subscriptions, and this is messed up, $460 a month. We canceled 17 subscriptions. How? I've already done that 3 times. How do we have another 17 to cancel? Like, for example, I canceled Bloomberg, Fortune, Market Watch. That's $100 right there. $100. I was like, oh my, how am I doing this to myself? My point is, guys, you got to take a step back out of the rat race and check yourself. Literally check yourself. Say, what do I want? Oh, I want to be a homeowner. Well, how do I get it? Maybe I should listen to what Real Estate Mindset's doing. Maybe I should cut back on spending, save my money, get out of consumer debt, become an expert in my local housing market by reviewing comps. Either way, let's jump back in. Let me know about Lance Lambert. Given the absence of an excessive amount of existing homes for sale on the market, it makes sense that spiked mortgage rates and strained affordability haven't resulted in more regional home price corrections. Again, guess what? It's changing. So it makes sense now that we have that inventory coming back that prices will actually correct. Now this goes on. We are starting to see national active listings rise. However, we're still well below pre-pandemic levels, or rather 33% below May 2019. But they're counting May 2019. That's spring home buying season in 2019. If they really want to look at pre-pandemic, you got to go to December. Go to December, not spring home buying season. But regardless, 33% below. And these are Fed economic data numbers. So right now we're sitting at 787, but let's not forget back in May of 2021, we had 447. So we have close to double the amount of inventory. Now pre-COVID, okay, so May of 2020, we had 928 and May of 2019, we had 1.18. That is changing quickly. I believe, and I went on record in saying, I think, and actually I hope and believe we will have 1 million active units in 2024. Now here's Fed economic data. This just updated on June 4th. So it updated to 787, 722. Now you may not think that's a lot, but when we go back into other Mays, it's a substantial increase, you guys. It is again, substantial increase. This time last year, we only had 582,000 active units. So again, that's an additional 200,000 active units. So demand is no longer keeping pace overall. Yes, some markets, that's not true. But overall, demand's shot and inventory is finally increasing. These are great things, you guys, but we're not quite there yet. Now, pre-COVID, January 2020, we were at 951, 675. So again, I don't even think we necessarily need 1 million, but I definitely think we'll get there. And when we get to that million, again, I think we're going to get there in 2024. We will have an even faster surge of price discovery, and the STR enforcement hasn't even really begun yet. So we got a lot of factors that are going to be dumping inventory on the market, including the silver tsunami. I don't know if you guys know what that is. Regardless, let's look at our first state. So this also updated June 4th. In fact, all of the states I'm about to show you updated on June 4th. But Texas, look at the surge. Look at the massive surge of inventory in Texas. I mean, I'm sorry, bulls, but your narrative is being ripped apart. The pendulum is swinging the other way. I mean, we're not frozen in time. I mean, they would be correct if we would just stay frozen in time, but things are changing. Look at the trajectory. And this is May. Remember, inventory goes up into September. So odds are this is going to shoot up, guys. And this is going to shoot up higher than the 10-year average. Look at this. So right before we went into lockdowns, we had 86,000 units up for sale January 2020. Right now, May of 2024, we don't have 86. We don't even have 90. We don't even have 100. We have 101,000 active units in Texas. And that's only going up because it's only June, guys. We got July, August, September. And if it happens like it did last year, remember, we got inventory at the end of the year as well. That is how destroyed purchasing power really is. And take a look at our second state. I mean, the trajectory of Florida has just been really, really quite remarkable. Now, it's been happening since August of 2023 in Florida. Since August of 2023 in Florida, it's skyrocketed. I mean, it's really hard to fathom the trajectory here because it is substantial, but Florida also has more active inventory than they did pre-lockdowns. What do you think that means? Same question. What happens when those laws reverse? What happens to prices when the laws of supply and demand reverse? I'll tell you what happens. Prices go down. So Florida, look at it. So Florida, we're at 137. Let's see the last time we're at 137. Look at this, guys. We got to go all the way back to June 2019. And again, they're only counting to May. We have more room for inventory growth is my point, but we're going back again to June 2019 for Florida when they had 139,000 active units. Right now we're sitting at 137. You guys, this is absolutely incredible. Take a look at this state. Here's our third state, obviously Arizona. Look at the trajectory, very similar to Florida. Around August of 2023, I mean, everything started changing as far as inventory. You see that right now, Arizona is sitting at an active listing count of 24,558. So let's go back and see when we had that much inventory back in 2019. So right here. So this is so crazy. So in Arizona, you guys, we almost hit May 2019 in Arizona. May of 2019 in Arizona, they had 25,125 active units. Right now they have 24,558. You guys, I don't know how else to say this. Now, and I know it depends on your housing market, but the housing market is going to crash. I'm talking prices, okay? The prices are going to crash because we have a systemic failure. And that systemic failure is citizens can't afford to buy a house. The only people that can afford to buy a house right now are people like Jeff that lived at home until he was 30 years old and paid all cash for a house. Raise your hand if that's your situation. No one? No one? Y'all see my point? Y'all, this bad boy is falling apart. Y'all see it, right? Do y'all see this? The inventory is exploding. But that's not all. It doesn't stop at just Arizona. Take a look. Utah has finally made the cut. So right now, here's where we're sitting as far as active inventory in Utah, sitting at 9,229. Now we have to go back and let's see the last time in 2019 that we had that. Boom. So we're going back all the way to November 2019 as far as pre-COVID active unit counts in Utah. Now you may say, oh, well, it actually went higher in 2022, but what did we have in 2022? Remember? Price decline. We had price decline in 2022. And look at May of 2022. So let's compare 2022 to right now. May of 2022, we had almost half the inventory, and yet it skyrocketed up. Do y'all see this? So again, we had 5,400 active units May of 2022. Again, 2022, we had price decline. Look at the surge of inventory, okay? The same thing is happening. In fact, we're probably going to go 2 tiers up. So far, the states that I've just showed you guys, I'm anticipating before the end of this year that all of those states are going to have near 10-decade highs on active inventory because we don't need that much to get to where we were. And state number 5, Trey, this one's for you, brother, Tennessee. And again, you guys, look at the inventory. I mean, you can see kind of seasonality taking a toll, but look at it. I mean, it's trending upward. So right now in Tennessee, we have an active unit count of 21,948 units. So let me show you guys where we have to go back to get to that level. Okay, so look, we're going all the way back, again, pre-lockdowns. We're going all the way back to December of 2019 in Tennessee. Again, what I'm explaining to you is the entire states now are surging with inventory because of buying demand and purchasing power is crippled as a result of not only quantitative tightening, but also because of quantitative easing the prices. The prices went up too high. And that's not all. All right, we got another state. We got 6 states. Okay, here's Washington. Look at Washington. We're sitting at, and look at the trajectory. I've been waiting. I've been patient, you guys. I've been getting beat up out here. I mean, people are harassing me. People are saying evil things. Like, I'm just saying that. If I was just saying this, there'd be no reason for me to present data. I'm saying these things because I believe them, and that's what the data is suggesting. It's very difficult because the media is working against us, and it feels like the Fed is as well. But look at, guys, in Washington, we're sitting at 14,942. Let's go to pre-lockdowns. Look at this. We go all the way back to November of 2019. Okay, so we have as much inventory as right after November of 2019 in Washington. Now, again, 2020 right here, look at, we had more inventory than we do right now. And that led, again, what I'm saying, to price decline. But look at where it was in May. So May of 2022, again, way less than what we have right now. So I'm trying to point out, again, this should go up 1, 2, possibly 3 tiers all the way up here. And if we get all the way up here on all of these states, guess what? We are at or around a 10-decade average. We may hit that on all of the states that I just showed you. We may hit that this year. 2025, you guys, it's going to be a shamble for the housing market. Now, I wanted to surprise you, okay, with the 7th state. Surprise, we have a 7th state, all right? Colorado. And by the way, you guys, I can find more states using Redfin that have more inventory. All we're using right now is Fred economic data, okay? Look at this, Colorado. How did Colorado get on this list? Colorado right now is sitting at 18,447 active units. Let's go back before lockdowns. Look at this. We got to go all the way back to, again, December 2019 to match this inventory. So we have as much inventory as shortly after December 2019. And again, you may say, oh, we had more inventory right here, but not in May. When we go down and look at May, look at this. Again, I hope you guys see what I'm saying here. The trajectory is exploding, and price discovery is coming with it. But back in May of 2022, we only had 10,300 active units. Right now, May of 2024, we have 18,447 active units. And I really want to hear your opinions. Please share with me. Let me know whether or not you agree with me. Now, I've talked to a couple bulls, and you know what? Again, they stopped talking about the loss of supply and demand because they can no longer talk about it because it's working against them. I've also talked to bulls where they say inventory doesn't matter anymore when their entire argument was inventory matters. So now they're saying it doesn't matter. But one thing that all of the bulls get wrong, and I'm not saying only look at one thing, but I am saying one thing that they always get wrong is income growth. There was virtually zero income growth. And when we look at the housing market and when we match up equity growth and income growth, we always pay the price when house values go up too quickly and income growth doesn't keep pace. Every single time we pay the price in the housing market. Go back in history. Seriously, go look at those things. Go back in history, check it out. My point in this video is thank God I stayed on the sideline. I remained patient and I increased my purchasing power because I'm starting to see more affordable houses and more options in my own housing market. In fact, I may make an offer, like I said, as soon as I hit end on this video. Now, other than that, guys, I want to know what's going on in your market. Do you see this? Do you see inventory blowing up? Do you see price cuts blowing up? Do you see more incentives? Let us know. Share your intel in the comments. Now, if you guys learned anything and gained insights, please like the video. Shoot me a bonkers below. Shoot me that bonkers below, you guys. What happened to the bonkers? Give me some bonkers, all right? Now, other than that, if you're out there investing in real estate, you guys already know I wish you luck, and I hope you win.